I'm Erik Schatzker, and welcome to Bloomberg's Front Row. Today I'm talking to Chamath Palihapitiya, the larger-than-life founder of social capital. Chamath made his mark as a disruptive force in Silicon Valley. Now he's upending Wall Street as the king of SPACs and superhero to the Robinhood crowd on Reddit. His immodest goal? To build a Berkshire Hathaway for the social media generation. Chamath has set his sights on everything from cryptocurrencies to ETFs. We had a lot of ground to cover. How Chamath made his first $10 billion. Chamath, you're an experienced investor, you're an experienced manager, and you can argue persuasively for the 20% promote or carry, if you prefer, that you earn in a SPAC transaction. There are people raising SPACs who have no experience as investors, no experience running companies. Is that movie going to end well?
The good news is humans are adaptive, and I think the answer is yes, we will be okay. Will there be a bunch of bumps along the way? I think so too. And so, yeah, we have a real responsibility to educate and teach people. But again, we need brands to do that because, nobody's going to listen to Buffett. Buffett doesn't have the energy to say what he said 30 and 40 years ago in 2021. And that's okay. He's earned the right to basically chill out and be the GOAT. But there has to be other folks that take that mantle and, take the baton and do it as well to this younger generation in language they understand. And look, to your point, that's why people say, like, who is this guy? Well, who I am is a byproduct of my generation and my media culture, which is faceted, not always great facets, but multifaceted. And so you have to speak in the language of the times in order to get your point across.
So think big for a minute. If you really want to disrupt a game rigged in favor of insiders at the expense of the outsiders, how else would you like to transform finance?
I do want to have a Berkshire-like instrument that is all things, not to sound egotistical, but all things Chamath, all things social capital. Look, I was the one that backed up the truck in 2012 on Bitcoin, 2014 and 15 in Amazon, 2015 in Tesla. These SPACs are doing well. I can be a little judgmental at times, but I'm a good decision maker. And I think I know where the world's roughly going. And I want to translate that. I've made enough money for myself. It doesn't really float my boat. I do it as a demarcation of success and to keep the pressure on. But the best pressure for me was if I, was an instrument that retail, normal, ordinary folks could use to close the inequality gap for themselves.
One of the things Buffett did was effectively hold forever. Right? Put his permanent capital to work and almost never sold. Is that you as well? Is the money that you have in, whether it's Virgin Galactic or Clover Health or Open Door or SoFi, permanent capital that you're never taking out?
Yes, but with an asterisk. Buffett became a billionaire at 58. I, because of Facebook, quite honestly, got extremely lucky in my early 30s. But this last decade has been training. And, these last few years now, I'm really on the field. I got my pads on, and I feel like I can play as good as anybody else. But the reality is all of the things I want to do vastly outweighs the capital that I have. Probably I'm, running $10+ billion, 10, 15 billion. I don't know the exact number, to be completely honest, I should. But I am risk on. And I am moving a lot of balls down the field, myself and my team. And the reality is that those things sometimes consume capital. So at the end of last year, my family office called and said, hey, dummy, you need to put a little bit of money here just to make sure that we have liquidity and we can keep doing all these things. And so I had to sell, a couple million shares of Virgin. I didn't want to. I haven't sold a single share of anything that I've done in the SPAC platform, in the pipes, other than those few million shares of Virgin. So if given my druthers, Erik, and if if I could really just go for it, I wouldn't sell a share of anything I buy because I believe in it. But every now and then I run up into liquidity constraints like everybody else, and I get a call and they say, Chamath, stop, slow down. And I say, no. And then they say, okay, then at least give us a little buffer here so that we can continue to do all the things you want.
Is the $10 to $15 billion you're marshaling, is that money inside social capital, or is that in total? Does that include what you're doing in your family office and personal holdings that you may have in, say, Bitcoin or Tesla or Amazon or Facebook or whatever?
I know it's like the totality of everything, but it's like sloshing around in a bunch of like LLC. Like this is the thing. Like social capital is more of a name, meaning is it an entity? Yeah, technically there's a company with the name social capital on it, but everything is flowed through a Byzantine bunch of LLCs and this and that I personally own. This is why part of the work now that I have to do this year is reorganize myself. So Social Capital 1.0 was a traditional set of venture funds called Social Capital. Social Capital 2.0 is basically my family office. And for Social Capital 3.0 to become a reality, which I would like to do in the next couple of years, I have to do some cleanup work. And again, this is sort of like when the music's on, you have to be dancing. And so I haven't had time to do that because I see opportunities and I want to seize them and I want to invest. Thinking that I'll just come back and clean up whatever organizational mess is created afterwards at some point.
And this Social Capital 3.0 would be a public company?
That's my ambition. I think that I want to be held accountable to folks. I want to, I've learned that, I make better decisions when I am authentic and transparent. And so the best way to do that is just to be living my life out for everybody to see, my professional business life. And so I like the idea of the transparency of the public markets. I love the idea of having investor calls, having an analyst day, teaching people, learning from people, having a yearly thing that Buffett does. I would want to do our own. It won't be as grandiose or as big, but maybe it will in 30 or 40 years. And so, I want to do those things. And I'm going to work until I'm 65. And so between now and 65, that's the goal.
Well, I wish you luck with those goals, and I look forward to talking to you along the way. It's been a pleasure, Chamath. Thank you.
Erik, thank you very, very much.